Major changes are coming to Major League Baseball. In an attempt to improve pace of play, inject more action into the game, and reduce injuries, the league's competition committee recently voted to implement a host of new rules for the 2023 campaign. These new rules, by the way, were tested extensively at the minor league level, and if the results down there are any indication, the changes are poised to have a profound effect on the big leagues. So how exactly is baseball about to change? Let's break it down. Sit back, relax, and take this in. Major League Baseball has evolved in countless ways over the last few years, from expanding the playoffs to implementing the universal DH to automating the intentional walk. But it's safe to say that none of those tweaks alter the game as fundamentally as the forthcoming new rules. First and foremost, the major leagues will use a pitch clock in 2023 in an effort to reduce the amount of dead time between pitches and ultimately shorten game time. With the bases empty, the pitcher will have 15 seconds to begin his motion. With runners on base, the pitcher will have 20 seconds. If the pitcher doesn't start his motion before the timer runs out, a ball will be added to the count. The batter, however, also bears some responsibility for keeping the game moving. He needs to be in the batter's box and quote-unquote alert to the pitcher with at least 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Otherwise, a strike is added to the count. Now I know the traditionalists out there will insist that instituting a pitch timer is blasphemy and that baseball's freedom from the tyranny of a clock is sacrosanct. But, well, there's no arguing with results. Using almost identical rules to the ones Major League Baseball is set to implement, game time across the minor leagues has plummeted in 2022, with the average 9-inning contest taking a brisk 2 hours and 38 minutes. Last year, with a dramatically different pitch clock system in place, the average minor league game lasted 3 hours and 4 minutes. That's a 26-minute reduction year over year, according to an MLB press release. That's staggering. It's not just the pitch clock, however, that has helped tighten up minor league games. In conjunction with the pitch clock, Minor League Baseball also implemented a new rule limiting pitchers to a maximum of 2 rubber disengagements, which is to say step-offs or pickoff attempts, per plate appearance, a rule Major League Baseball is going to implement in 2023 as well. If a pitcher does make a third pickoff attempt in a plate appearance and doesn't nail the base runner, a balk is called, and that base runner, every base runner, gets to advance 90 feet. Well, not only has this rule helped minimize inaction and shorten game time by limiting how often a pitcher can reset the pitch clock, but it's also accomplished another goal. It's helped rejuvenate the stolen base. With pitchers now limited to 2 unsuccessful pickoff attempts per plate appearance, base runners have been given a competitive edge, and pardon the pun, they've run with it. In 2019, the minor leagues averaged 2.23 stolen base attempts per game, with a 68% success rate for would-be thieves. This year, with the new rules in place, the number of steal attempts per game has jumped to 2.83, with would-be thieves converting on 77% of their tries. Oh, and the other rule change fueling that bump? The minor leagues made their bases bigger in 2022, increasing them from a 15-inch square to an 18-inch square, something Major League Baseball is poised to do as well. And the other benefit of that change? It's safer out there. With more real estate for base runners and defenders to converge on, base-related injuries have decreased 13.5% across the minor leagues this year. Are you still with me? Long story short, based on the minor league trials, the use of the pitch clock, combined with limits on pickoff attempts and bigger bases, bodes extremely well for tightening up the game, increasing stolen base attempts, in other words, action, while also keeping players safer. But wait, there's more. As part of their effort to facilitate more action, and perhaps in response to the remarkably depressed run-scoring environment of 2022, MLB will also implement significant restrictions on defensive shifts in 2023. Under the new rules, teams must have 2 infielders on each side of second base when the pitch is released, and every infielder must have both of their feet within the outer boundary of the infield. In other words, the 4-man outfield is no more. And you can't stack 4 infielders on the right side of the infield when a left-handed hitter with extreme pull tendencies comes to the plate either. This configuration, for example, is a no-go for multiple reasons. But while it's no secret that shifting has become increasingly prevalent throughout Major League Baseball in recent years, there's also little evidence that this rule, unlike the other ones, will have the desired effect. The point of banning or restricting the shift, after all, is to allow for more base hits, to boost batting averages on balls in play. Except down in the minor leagues, shift restrictions haven't really accomplished that. According to Baseball America, in fact, League-wide batting averages on balls in play have actually dropped in both high A and low A this year, even with the newly implemented shift restrictions. Sure, certain hitters with extreme tendencies will likely see their batting averages climb, but it's hardly a foregone conclusion that league-wide batting averages will. In any event though, this new rule, all these new rules, represent MLB's most substantive attempt yet to counteract what they clearly view as problematic trends within the game. Of course, many will insist that baseball doesn't need fixing, and the 4 MLBPA members on the competition committee, I might add, all voted against the pitch clock and shifting rules, but, well,
adapt or die.
But what say you? Are you excited about the changes coming to Major League Baseball? Or is the league tinkering needlessly? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As always, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time.